Welcome to Midlife Matters. I'm Marie, and each week I'm joined by my friends Julie and Mindy to talk about all the topics keeping women in the middle years up at night. Today we're talking about dressing with style and attitude. Join us as we share some things that characterize our personal style and ways we're learning to look our best, no matter what our age. Let's get started. Listeners, today we're talking about dressing with style and attitude. We're reading the book French Women Don't Get Facelifts by Mireia Guiano. That's our best French. As with all our book episodes, you do not need to be reading the book to enjoy this episode, but we do hope that you'll listen along as we explore how to be comfortable in your own skin, seeing ourselves as we really are, and developing a plan for aging. This dressing with style chapter really struck a nerve with me, and I'm not really even into that much fashion per se, but it just had a lot of great topics for discussion. What did you guys think about it?
I absolutely loved it. I found myself underlining. I found myself laughing out loud. I found myself taking inventory of my own closet and thinking, maybe I should really rethink some things. And then I just appreciate it because I feel like she is an older generation than us, teaching us ways, you know what I mean? That maybe your mom did or didn't kind of go into that. It reminded me of my Mima, who has these Southern ways that there's certain things that women do. And I just think like we're looking at different countries. I think different parts of the United States probably feel different. I loved reading her perspective.
Yeah, I there's definitely a lot of food for thought and a lot of good things to discuss. And I think of her too as an older woman, and I kind of think about what your grandmother would say on this topic or whatever. But yet I think of her as this fashionista too, like she's not like you think of an old lady. But and I don't consider myself fashion wise either or that concerned with it. I mean, I enjoy, nice clothes, but there was a lot to think about here.
Well, Julie, why don't you give us an intro into this dressing with style chapter?
Okay, so she starts out with a French phrase, and I hate to even try this, but it's quelle coquette. And it means like, she said it's very hard to translate exactly, but it signifies someone who is concerned about her appearance, who kind of has a knack for fashion. And she said, depending on the intonation of the person speaking, it could even imply being kind of flirty or looking for a compliment. But she said it is a nice compliment for a woman in France to get. It's not offensive or anything.
I liked what she said. If you aren't looking coquette, why? So, and so do you think, in my mind, I kind of just started substituting the word cute for coquette. Is that an appropriate translation, do you think, just in general? Like, if you aren't looking cute, why?
Or looking like you are trying to, at least, like that you care to look cute. Yes.
Like you're a little extra, maybe, even if you're comfortable. Like you've done something to be extra. Yeah.
And I liked how she said, live, don't die.
It's so dramatic.
So if you're not looking coquette, consider whether or not you're actually living.
That made me laugh because she literally says, if you're not looking coquette, ask yourself why. And I'm like, pardon, because I don't want to. I'm too tired. Right?
I'm tired.
I know. I have a million reasons why.
Right. Well, and I like what she said too. Being coquette is part of the game. So the French dress to seduce, but not in the sense of attempting to lure one to bed. At least that's not always the reason. Plus, it is something that French women would not think of abandoning in their advanced years, as it breathes life into them, into what they wear, what they say, what they think, what they are. And I think that maybe the distinction is, I think sometimes if we maybe have been married a long time and our husband loves us for who we are, in quotes, or we're not dating someone, or we're not trying for some reason to be particularly attractive to the opposite sex, women forget that you can just want to look cute for yourself and how that makes you feel and how that makes you come across to people and for other women. It doesn't have to always be about men. And I think when she says, that's why she says French women dress to seduce, we automatically think seduce means men, but that's not what she's saying.
Well, and there's an old saying that women dress for other women. And I do think that that is true. Like you can be going out with a group of girls and it doesn't mean you just want to go out in your PJs with no makeup. But you know what I mean? Like you want to look nice in a group of women. So I get that.
Yeah. Okay. So she does make the point. She says, there is little question we judge people by their looks. Our looks make a powerful argument to a person about who we are. Now that's just so anti-American. I mean, like I immediately think, is that politically correct to say that? Even though I think we all do it, are we allowed to say it?
Oh, yeah. I think everyone judges other people by their looks. And I don't mean in a condemning way, but you assess people, you know?
Right.
And I don't know if I totally agree when she says that it's a powerful argument about who you are, because when people judge me by my appearance, they think they know who I am, but they don't.
Sure.
Right.
I don't know that it goes too deep as to who I am. And the older I get, I try less to judge people by their looks because I know now, like, I don't know what somebody's walking through.
Right.
You know, and I'm a little more sensitive to that now.
Right. And it's a major learning curve to keep up with yourself through the decades, you know, as your own body changes, to continue to accept where you're at and continue to see like, well, what can I do with what I've been given now? Like, I'm not used to this type of body. I'm not used to this type of face or this skin or this hair, you know, and it really takes kind of some effort and some intention to continue to see yourself for who you are. And then also look at what you can do with what you have, I guess.
Yeah. There's a balance there.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think on the question of whether we judge people by their looks, I think we do this. I'm thinking of like how different generations do it too. So like I might look at somebody of a different generation and think, oh my goodness, they aren't taking care of themselves, or they didn't dress up for this event, or they're by their dress, they don't look appropriate. And their generation might think that that's completely appropriate. Like one of my kids is going for an interview, and what I might think is appropriate to wear to an interview is based on what was appropriate to wear to an interview 30 years ago, not what is appropriate to wear today. So I might not be the best person to ask. You probably need to ask somebody who's interviewing that age group regularly. So I do think that we do all make these judgments, but sometimes the judgments, even between generations, we can't always say, okay, well, that person didn't try. Well, yeah, that's just the style now. Those holes in that person's jeans, they tried. Those were expensive jeans. But to the person who's older, they might be like, why are they dressed down so much for this? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I really notice that when I go to a nice restaurant, which I hardly do anymore. But, you know, in Nashville, you can go to the nicest restaurant. And unless there's a dress code, people are going to be there in, you know, flip-flops and holey jeans and T-shirts. They just are.
Right.
And you'll see people dressed really well, but there's just going to be a mix. Yeah.
I know. It's funny to listen. You know, I have some older women in my family, and when they're letting loose with their conversation and I'm listening in, they're like, yeah, these young girls these days, they just go out of their house and their hair, like they just woke up out of bed and they're not I hope they brush their teeth and not putting any makeup on. And like, I bet that's her pajamas, you know?
Right.
It's so funny.
When really they may have watched a YouTube tutorial on how to make that super messy bun look effortless, and like they really spent 45 minutes doing that look to look like they just rolled out of bed.
That is quite possible, yes.
And my meme, I was like, I would never leave the house if I looked like that.
Yeah. So I definitely think we all know that we can't judge everybody by their looks, but we also all have to accept the fact that there's different generations, different people. We're all making judgments. We all have eyes. The judgment creeps in before you sometimes even are aware that you've made a judgment. So I think that what this dressing chapter does for me is just kind of remind me that there might be an overall style of yourself that you're impressing people with that you may or may not be aware of, and that you can cultivate a style that gives off an impression that you are desiring to give off.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do think, because she later says, what does your appearance say about you? And I think this goes along with her aging with attitude, that hopefully we learn to look beyond people's shoes and purses and makeup, and that your smile and your kindness and your concern for other people makes a bigger impression than anything you wear. But I do think they can go hand in hand, of course.
I do feel like, we've talked about aging with attitude. I do like that. I'm going to call her MG, like we did the first episode, just for clarification. I do like that MG, our author, talks about attitude as much as she really does give some practical steps here in this chapter with clothes and, your appearance. What's really cool is that we all know that when we meet someone, whatever's on the inside of that person is how we end up seeing them. So if that person has a great attitude, a joyful spirit, they're happy, they're, charismatic, and they don't have makeup on, and maybe they did just roll out of bed, like you see them in an attractive light because of what the inside is doing to their outside. And so I think that's the part, that coquette, that attitude, that style, like, that if you're comfortable in your own skin, you're not trying to hide, or I think you can tell if there's something more going on underneath the surface. Because sometimes if I'm really sick, I don't look good because I'm sick and I feel awful. But maybe sometimes I don't look good because just I woke up late, but I have a great attitude. Whatever my attitude is, do you get what I'm saying? Like that's gonna shine and be what people see.
Yeah, and I think the reverse is true. Like, no matter how good you look on the outside with the terrible attitude, that won't make up for it. You know what I mean? That won't give you that look that she's talking about.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about a fear that women have. Most women. We fear losing our attractiveness. She says that most people fear being seen as old. She says the French attitude is to see myself in the mirror for what I am. I accept that, and I'm at peace with that. However, I will do whatever is in my control to manage the message I send. And then I won't worry what people think. I will take care of myself and cultivate an image that is me at my current best and stay engaged in the world. I feel like this should be like the prayer on every middle-aged woman's mirror. And you look at it before you get dressed in the morning.
They should put this in dressing rooms everywhere.
I will accept the way I am and do the most with what I can.
And stay engaged in the world. I know, I feel like there's so much here. Like we could really break down all of this because there's a lot of wisdom in this statement.
Right. Julie, I know there was kind of a difference between the French attitude of this kind of stuff and the American attitude.
Well, she goes on a little bit to say that, the French attitude is like, I'm going to do the best I can to manage this message, but I also don't care what people think. She said, but a French woman will still get dressed to go out and get her morning bagel. You know what I mean? Like, she says, I don't care, but I do care, But the American attitude, she said, seems to fall like in one of two extremes, where either you don't see yourself for who you are, you're not in reality, or you're overly critical and you see every flaw. I mean, we've all seen that. We've all been to the beach and seen maybe the person who's past the bikini age who doesn't see reality. And then I think probably more common is the overly critical. I don't know. She said that
seems more acceptable.
Yeah, she said she's been around women that just sit around and see who can be the hardest on themselves and point out the most flaws, and that does seem to be more the American way.
What do you think of the attitude that the French have? I mean, I think it's great to aspire to. Do you feel like you do try to see yourself for what you are and do the best with what you can and cultivate an image that is your current best and stay engaged in the world? I mean, I kind of feel like I aim for that.
Yeah.
I think so too, but I realize as I get older, as I care less about what people think, I have to balance that with it does require more to look presentable.
Mhm.
So that's a hard thing when you care less and you're just like, oh, well, I'll go out looking like this. And then you're like, oh, this isn't what I used to look like when I didn't wear makeup or style my hair or put on nice clothes. So, I do care. I like to say I don't, but then I do, especially if I'm, whatever you're going out for your morning baguette is, like taking your dog on a walk or running to the coffee shop or the grocery. Like, I don't want to see somebody I know if I haven't prepared a little.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like that differentiation because we do want to be comfortable in our own skin. We do want to set others at ease when we meet them. And, we're not like dressed to the nines, at all times. That's not even realistic. It's okay to look nice. I think that sometimes it's more acceptable to downplay looks or to not do your best with what you've been given. Maybe you feel like it's vain because you're spending too much time on yourself or your hair, or your makeup or your clothes or whatever. And I kind of liked maybe the freedom to say it's okay to take care of myself and it's okay to look nice, to not be apologetic for fixing my hair, for washing my hair, just trying to present myself to look nice. I feel more like me when I am taking care of myself. And so I do like the freedom to say it's okay to do that, I guess.
Yeah. I actually like that we're having this conversation because like you said, Marie, it almost feels wrong. Like in America, this feels like a taboo. Discussion. And it shouldn't.
It does. Okay. I kind of liken it, and tell me what you think about this. I kind of liken it to people talking about how busy they are. It's acceptable to say, oh, I'm so busy. I can't possibly do that. I've got this and this and this and this. Well, it's the same conversation to say, oh man, I'm just, gosh, I'm in my fat jeans today. And I ate all the wrong things yesterday. And, it's this like beat down mentality. Yeah. I'm too busy or, I've made all the wrong choices. And so I just think that that's acceptable, popular, expected. Those are the conversations that we tend to be drawn to. And it's okay for us to actually be positive. It's okay to give ourselves rest, to say, to not fall into those valleys of conversation that lead nowhere good.
Right.
Yeah. And not coquette.
Not coquette.
Okay. Well, getting back to Coquette, the author, she says that your hair and your shoes are a good place to start when evaluating your style. So basically top to bottom. So Julie, kind of summarize for us what she meant by this.
Well, she had a meeting with this really important French businessman. I think he owned Dior. So he was in the fashion world. And she said when she met with him, she realized in a not so subtle way, she felt like he was looking her over from head to toe, which is very, again, not something acceptable in American conversation. But she said there was little doubt in her mind that the two biggest tells of her identity were her hair and shoes. And so she said, if you're looking at your own style as you age, that shoes and hair are a good place to start.
So what do you guys think about that? Like, I guess how much thought do you currently give to your hair and your shoes?
I feel like my current situation is not who I normally am.
Well, normally.
Because like I always wanted a cute haircut. And right now I have just long, straight hair. You know what I mean? Like it's not in a style. But I do think a haircut really kind of sets you apart, like a certain style. And I don't think too much about shoes as far as like in the positive, but we all know little old ladies that start to wear orthopedic shoes or just go for comfort. Like that is very noticeable. And I know as I age, I definitely have less tolerance for discomfort. Like I will not wear a pair of shoes that hurt, no matter how cute they are. She said it's kind of like comparable to like a modern day corset, uncomfortable shoes. Right. But on the other hand, they are making very cute, stylish, comfortable shoes now. So it's good.
It cracked me up how long she spent describing shoes in the book. You can tell that she is a lover of shoes and really what that projects about somebody by the shoes that they wear.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered that we had a person on in the past that talked about cute shoes, that she will always invest in cute shoes. And I wish I could remember who that
Lulu
was.
Loves.
It was actually somebody else.
Oh, was it?
Too.
Okay, maybe.
Like but yes, she always looks great. But it made me laugh that MG spent a lot of time describing shoes, what it says about a person, people that she knows, and the types of shoes that they wear.
Yeah.
And did you guys catch? I
Yes.
totally circled. Did you? Birkenstocks.
Yeah,
Yes.
I died laughing. I thought of Mindy because she said she specifically mentions spotting American tourists by their Birkenstocks.
I was like, she just called me out.
I will say though,
cute Birkenstocks
before I went to France the first time, I looked up what French women were wearing, and because I wanted to blend in, I did not want to stick out as a tourist.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'd wear my Birkenstocks in France.
Yeah,
I would never tourist around in Birkenstocks. I mean, I would actually have my Brooks tennis shoes on probably if I was going to be walking a lot.
I know. Like for me, I could see if you live there, but for me, going on a trip, I'm going to walk a lot and I am looking for comfort before whether or not I blend in. And like when we went over last fall, I could see that it was going to rain a lot. So I ordered some waterproof sneakers and I didn't have a huge selection of styles or colors that would come in 2 days on Prime when I'm finally narrowing down what the weather's going to
be. Yeah.
And I was just glad to get a pair in time. And I was just glad not to walk around with sopping wet feet. Because if I'm going to walk around for hours, I'm going to be really upset if my socks are wet. I don't care if they're the cutest things if my feet are dry and I can enjoy. But I did kind of feel like she was, and everybody has this. I think everybody picks an area. I think she's a little bit snobbish when she comes to shoes. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I can see her in high heels a lot, and I don't know, but when I was looking at shoes, I found some really comfortable sandals because I went in the summer and the winter, but in the summer I wore a lot of really cute sandals that were made for walking. There's a brand, Joseph Seibel, Vionics, Clark's. They all make really cute, stylish shoes. So it's a little harder in the winter when you have to be warm and dry. Like white sneakers with dresses are in. That's not so much of a. But it used to be because they would call them. Europeans call sneakers trainers, and they would say Americans are always in their trainers.
Well, I feel like it's actually okay for us to separate and compartmentalize traveling and doing a lot of walking versus your everyday life. But also I can give my excuse. I can find an excuse every day to wear Birkenstocks. So maybe I should just be honest with myself. But I definitely appreciate that she talks about shoes because it did make me think, and the hair. I like where she's going. It does make a difference. I do actually invest in getting my hair done, even if it's in a ponytail every day. I'm like, you can tell I tried.
Yeah.
I did. I tried. I am working out and I'm not always coming back to refix it, but I did start out trying.
Right. Okay, but Birkenstocks leads us to what are your style signatures? And I thought that this was one of the most interesting things in the book. So what would somebody see about you and they would say, that is so you? First of all, I feel like I should say a couple things that I associate with each of you. So Mindy, at least within the last year, we've said several times that you are a blazer girl. So I would definitely associate blazers. I would definitely associate Birkenstocks. I would definitely associate long, sleeveless, flowy dresses.
You hit the nail on the head with that one for sure.
And of course, your Brooks walking shoes. So those are 4 things that if I saw them, I'd be like, there's Mindy.
That's awesome. I'll take it.
Yeah. And Julie, and I don't know if you currently wear this because I know that longer boots aren't always the style right now. But if I'm going to think of somebody that looks good and wears like a knee-high boot, it's you. I just still, and like a preppy wool attractive winter sweater. I don't know. I just feel like those 2 things say Julie King.
Well, that the sweater was in my list too.
Was it?
I know.
And
Julie's
for you, I would say anything floral. I think of Marie, like flowy, ruffly, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because
pastels.
I went and asked my daughters about this, and one of my daughters who's in college, she said, I associate blouses with you. And I thought, are blouses not anyone other than me? Like, does no one your age wear a blouse? Or?
At least she didn't call you a khaki mess.
But let me read a little bit of the group chat last night on what they consider me. Because I asked my 3 girls, I have to answer this question. What do you think? And Lydia said, Target and Old Navy. Abigail said, those button tank tops. Someone else put, you love a good Target t-shirt with a national park on it. And it is true. It is true that I have a lot of those. Abigail said, a flowy blouse. And anyways, all of this came about. What it basically came down to is whatever they tell me. And then Abigail said, I would talk about your recent preppy style shift to loafers and the button layered shirt like I showed you. So she had sent me to J. Crew last fall to get some fall clothes. But I think what it really comes down to is I will wear whatever people tell me. I don't care. If somebody said, this is the style. For me, I'll keep buying that until somebody says that's not the style anymore. And then I'll go to the store and buy something different. I am completely outside directed. And it used to be with my friends. So like growing up, friends would tell me what I needed to buy. Or even as an adult, I remember some close friends saying like, Marie, you've got to buy some of this. Or Marie, you need to do this. And now as my girls have gotten older, they're the ones that are like, Mom, okay, I'm going to send you an inspiration picture and I want you to go to J. Crew and show the woman, this is what my daughter said I should buy. Like, I am completely outside directed in fashion. So that is my style. You tell me what it should be, I'll do it.
I agree with that. I feel like Marie is 2 people.
What do you mean?
She's literally 2 people. The Marie is like athletic, like athletic, athleisure. I want to be able to walk my dog. I want to be able to like go have a pickup pickleball game if I so decide. Like easy, athletic, comfortable. But then you've got 3 daughters who very much have opinions. And that was a little harsh. I feel like you're always put together, but I mean like your style of practical athletic, like you take care of yourself very well. And that shows to me. So to me, like that's the overarching, Marie takes care of herself. She has not let herself go. Now, whatever she's wearing, who knows what her daughters told her to go pick out, which they do a great job, by the way, all 3 of them. But no, that's how I see you. Like I can tell when I see a picture and there's something that you're wearing, I'm like, I know that somebody told her to wear that. She would have never picked that out in a million years. But I love that about you because you're so easygoing and practical. But when I see Julie, I do love her J. Crew style, her like classics, things that she could have bought 20 years ago or she could have bought yesterday. Mm-hmm. But I love that about her style, that you really are classic, but also put together. And so I feel like you have this natural, easygoing quality that really to me, I don't feel like you have to try very hard to look really amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like she'll get on the podcast and just have the cutest pair of earrings. And like, I feel like you have such natural makeup. Your hair will just be in a cute style. And I'm like, how does she look so effortlessly beautiful? But that's how I feel about you very much. It's true. Marie's shaking her head.
I am shaking my head because sometimes if I go shopping, I'll channel my inner Julie. I'll be like, what would Julie pick out? Because I really don't have any of my own opinions. So I'm like, okay, well, what's Julie worn lately? That's probably in style.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
She'll be like, everything will be the same, but she'll throw on a fabulous ring that I'm not used to seeing. I'm like, wow, she actually put, I mean, I never think to, have a different ring on for, or a bracelet. Like it's these little things, these like, I don't know, totally set you apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Well, I couldn't think of like my own style, but I did think about sweaters. Like I'm not a blouse person.
Right.
And I remember when we had our group picture made for the podcast, I thought I need a blouse. I got to wear a blouse because, and I still look
Maria
at that
wear
picture.
A blouse.
Yeah. I was like, it's got to be a floral blouse because everybody's
just don't clash with each other.
Yeah. And so I look at that picture and I think, gosh, that doesn't look like me. Like, where's my sweater? And even in the summer, I prefer like, it could be a tank, a sleeveless, but it's made of sweater material, cotton,
Okay.
That's what I've always felt comfortable in. And I
Mhm.
just, and stripes, y'all, my closet, I don't need to buy another stripe, but every time I go shopping, I come home with a stripe.
You love the stripes.
So yeah, got plenty of stripes, and I've got plenty of brightly colored pants. I love colors.
Oh, I love that. I know
I
you
wore
definitely.
a dress on Sunday that was everybody asked me if it was new, and it was about 8 years old.
Oh,
I'm serious. I have things if I bought them like from Anthropologie or Bowden, someplace nice.
Yeah.
They just last. I mean, they do.
Yeah. I do like that because you do invest in quality pieces, and the section where she talked about having less, but having those quality, timeless pieces that you do invest a little bit more. That's where I was convicted about all this fast fashion or cheaper things. And I'm like, maybe I should stop going to Target or Old Navy. You know what I mean? Like, and
no, we can't do that.
Don't buy the t-shirt from Target with the,
but they're only $5 and they're so comfortable.
Wait, it's a 2 for $10.
But again, that's a difference in, this is not what you wear to a party or you know what I mean? Like there's your everyday, and when you're trying a little harder.
I do feel like I have two looks. If I were to describe myself, my own fashion, I'm workout Mindy, which I do try to put myself together. I have these stud earrings that are my workout earrings because I still try. I have a small little necklace that Abby bought me that I wear. I literally put it on, even though I know I'm going to work out, because I just feel like I want to have that put together workout look. But then you hit the nail on the head with the long, flowy, sleeveless dresses. Since I do work out, I happen to love my shoulders and arms. And so I do try to spotlight what's good about my shape. And so I'll have something that comes in at the waist and then it's flowy because that just happens to fit my body type very well. It's the most flattering style. And so that summer dress with some wedge sandals is my other go-to look. And so I have a million long dresses, solids, florals, shaped different ways. But for the most part, they all come in at the waist and then they're flowy because that's just what works for me. I get, that's the Mindy look, I guess.
Well, I will say I see you in workout clothes a lot, but you always look like you're modeling workout clothes, not like you've actually worked out. And you have, I don't mean that your body does it, but I meant you just look so fresh and pretty. And then your little sweaters that you've talked about before, I think are the key because you can go to work out and then go somewhere, like on an errand and still look nice because you've got a cute sweater over it. So I've yet to find those. I always look for those. I'm like, I need a Mindy sweater.
Oh my goodness. That was very encouraging. Thank you.
Well, how do you think that you have retained or adapted your style over the years? Because she kind of makes the point that our style doesn't work always as we age. And I thought she was a tiny bit snobbish about the shoes. And then, Mindy, I thought of you and other people, even myself. I like a sleeveless shirt. And she was a little bit snobbish about that. I felt like she was basically saying our age or close to it, don't show your arms anymore. Did you get that impression?
Yeah, I think she did say that. But I think that just all depends on what they look like. I mean,
yeah. But also, so I feel like on one hand, she's like, embrace what you have and spotlight that. On the other hand, I think that she was making generalizations maybe about, now, how old is she again?
I don't know.
Like 70s? Is she 70s?
She is a grandmother. That's all I know. So,
okay. I was trying to remember exactly how old she was. And I was like, okay, I could see that, but also like, that's one of the things right now that I will spotlight. Maybe it'll go downhill later. Yeah. But for now, this is where I'm at.
Plus, I could think of a lot more offensive parts. Even if my arms look terrible, and maybe they do, I could think of a lot more offensive parts of my body I could be showing than my arms. Like, I just feel like arms of any age are not that offensive.
She never talks really about working out hard. I'm like, do the French actually go and sweat at the gym like we do? Like, are they in planks? Are they like lifting weights? Because
it doesn't sound like it.
No.
So I would take that with a grain of salt. I think we can still wear sleeveless items. And until my daughter tells me that I can't, I will.
She did talk about like low necklines and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
I think is, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, low necklines, I guess. What she said was at a certain age you shouldn't be showing cleavage anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I ever really set out to show a lot of cleavage, so I really haven't had to make major adaptations in that area. But
I go for high neck workout shirts, and I like the high neck sleeveless. Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is not an issue amongst the three of us.
But I don't know. Did we answer how we adapt? I don't know. That's a hard question. I mean, I still like to stay preppy, so that the definition of preppy has changed. Obviously, I'm not wearing penny loafers and things I wore in high school, but I still like to be in that style. So I don't know. That's the way I've adapted. You don't have to abandon your style as you age. Just tweak it.
Well, she did make the points about like hemlines. I will say that as I've gotten older, like I wouldn't wear like as short of something as I might have worn 10 years ago or 15 or 20. You know, like I do think over time the hemlines get a little longer.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to wear a dress with the middle cut out or the back out anymore, even though, like it just feels odd now.
I know. I think that there's things like that. The hemline is for sure a thing. We've talked about how to wear a cropped shirt in middle age that's still like attractive, but not showing skin. Because I'm not comfortable showing skin, but I do like to have good lines in my clothes. Like I mentioned, I have an hourglass shape and I always have. And I'm finally at the age where I can embrace it and dress for it instead of fighting against it. I always wished I didn't have an hourglass shape, but now I'm like, well, I'm 45. This is it.
It's not going to change.
This is it. All right. And so, yeah, I'm not wearing short to short. Dresses are pretty much below my knee. And I'm happy with that. I feel like there's plenty of options out there with longer styles, with skirts, with dresses. Pants that maybe are a little looser in the waist, because I mean, with perimenopause, sometimes like hormonally, like I'm thinking I'm fluffier in the midsection sometimes during the month than I am at other times during the month. And I know that's TMI, but I feel like a lot of women struggle with that. So whereas my waist, I like to highlight, I know that kind of in this season of life, I don't want anything touching my waist some days. So I'll have, the lines where it kind of comes in, but maybe it's a little bit roomier so that I'm comfortable. I can breathe. It's not constricting.
I'll say I'm glad that long dresses are back, because I've always loved like a maxi dress almost to your ankles. Because there's so many cute short dresses out there, but I can't wear them. When you're tall, they look like a shirt on me. What would be appropriate on somebody 2 or 3 inches shorter is not on me.
Yes. Yeah,
so
that's
I
a
hate
tunic
that really
for
cuts
us.
out. Yeah, it cuts out a lot of options.
All right. Well, one more thing that I wanted to talk about was the French philosophy of less is more. So quality over quantity when it comes to wardrobe. This really resonates with me because I don't care about clothes. So if you tell me that it's in style to have less clothes, I'm like, oh, that's a trend I can get behind, because that's less I have to worry about clothes.
That's right.
But I do think that there is a great general principle. What do you guys think about this principle?
Yeah, I've always tried to kind of live by this principle, because I like to shop at Anthropologie or Boden or Madewell, where the clothes are a little pricier. But I know if I buy something from one of those stores, I'm probably going to keep it for a long time, maybe past even when I should keep it. And my style, I know that I'm not just going to one day wake up and totally change the style that I like. So I'm comfortable buying something and hanging on to it. Yeah. Now, it's fun to go to Old Navy for my National Park t-shirt or my workout clothes. Like I will buy certain things there, but not like my staple pieces.
I struggle with this. This is where I thought, man, I need to go in my closet right now and get rid of some of the things that I bought because they were comfortable. Like Abby and I just had this conversation. I probably am into fashion more than she is, if I could say that. And I teased Abby about using the word comfortable for everything. I said, I said, Abby, when you were trying on wedding dresses, the first word that you used to describe the dress that you bought was it's comfortable. I said, you should be uncomfortable. So we had this, we were joking about, you should be uncomfortable.
Sure.
I mean, but kind of like joking, but kind of not, and so we've kind of gone back and forth with quality pieces versus fast fashion versus comfort. And I think I need to kind of look in my closet, because as much as I want to be the timeless, I think I have those pieces. But then I get super excited about new trends and colors. And I look at something in the store and I think, oh yeah, well, when I get dressed up cute to go to dinner with friends, okay, well, how many times do I go to dinner with friends? Not enough to buy the thing that's now going to sit in my closet and I'm never going to wear it because I'm in workout clothes or the long summer dress. I need to be realistic about what I actually do in life, because when I buy something, I think I'm going to live a different life than what I'm currently living. So I need to come back to reality, actually, and go through my closet.
That is such good insight, Mindy.
Another way I think about it, though, is kind of like we've talked about before. When you have something nice and you save it, you're always saving it. And you just, that I do have some nice clothes in my closet. So going to Bible study or going to church, I could wear jeans. I could wear jeans and a nice shirt, or I could wear my workout clothes to Bible study. I mean, people come in all things, but I'm going to choose, like, this is my opportunity to wear those cute orange flared pants, or, you know what I mean? Like, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to save that for something nice, you can wear those things pretty much anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so I try to do that. It's like, okay, I have something nice. Why not wear it?
Julie, I need to adopt that.
Yeah, because I've already got it.
Every time I have an opportunity, I think, I'm too tired. I'm ready. I don't want to put my jeans on. The workout pants are fine.
Yeah.
So this is where, we could step it up.
Well, piggybacking on this idea, do you have a uniform? So do you think that is your workout clothes your uniform, Mindy?
I'm modeling workout clothes. I'm just adopting what Julie said. It just sounds much more fabulous to say that. Yes, I'm in workout clothes all the time. I have all the cute clothes in my closet, though.
Yeah. What about you, Julie? Do you feel like you have a uniform?
Well, now that I'm walking my dog, it's just rocked my world. I have to get up and get dressed, which I'm not really ready to get dressed, early in the morning, but I just put on my joggers and a long sleeve t-shirt. I would say that's another signature item is if I'm going to buy a t-shirt from some place that I've been, I always buy a long sleeve. It was just always nice to have long sleeves to be out on the boat and when it's chilly. I just like the way long sleeve t-shirts look. So that's what I throw on. And if I have been out somewhere that I've dressed up, I come back home and put that on. So that makes it my uniform because it's what I put back on when I want to get comfy. And I do go out at it. I mean, you'll see me at the grocery in my joggers and t-shirt, but.
Mindy, what about you? Do you have a uniform?
Other than my workout clothes? It's leggings and either tennis shoes or Birkenstocks, depending on what type of workout I did.
Yeah.
Tank top and some sort of sweater.
Okay.
Yep.
From what I'm hearing from all of us, we would all get a big fat F in the coquette department on our daily uniform. I mean, we would be like F minus. If she saw us, she'd be like, you guys are so American.
My workout earrings and little necklace on. All right. So takes the work. I did. I do put a little makeup on every day too.
Okay, Marie and I were laughing because, for about the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've gone to the movies together on a Tuesday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, here we come in not PJs, but close, like jeans and an old sweatshirt. She's got on maybe some workout clothes. We have our big blanket and I even brought my own popcorn last time. It's like,
oh my gosh.
I just don't think Maria goes to the movies looking like that.
No. I mean, I loved this chapter and I do want to look attractive, but I don't know if I care enough to be coquette all the time.
Right.
I think comfortable for me wins out over coquette.
I know. I do feel like this everyday life, just doing the best with your comfort, because she does eventually get to talking about comfort.
Okay.
And she even mentions, like shoes that are more comfortable and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're in a whole nother category than her.
Thankfully, we don't live in Paris because we don't stick out like sore thumbs here.
No, we match people. And I think that that's the thing is culturally, the way that we just talked about how we dress in our uniform matches everybody else out there.
Yeah. I think overall, there's a lot of good things to convict the middle-aged woman, assess. You don't have to take it all in. You don't have to adapt it all, but there are some good things in here, and I appreciated what she had to say. Listeners, we would love to know what you think about the things that we've talked about today, what you think about dressing with style and attitude. And let us know also if you are reading the book. You can find us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast, or you can email us at midlifematterspodcast@gmail.com. But before we go, we want to do I'm a Fan. All right, Mindy, what are you a fan of this week?
I am a fan, once again, of Chick-fil-A, but for different reasons than what I have been a fan of before.
Okay.
I'm actually not going to talk about their food, which I love. I'm a fan of Chick-fil-A for your child working there as a job. Okay. I have absolutely loved watching all three of my sons have experience with working at Chick-fil-A. And just yesterday, we are celebrating that Jacob received the Chick-fil-A scholarship, which kids are able to apply for when they work there. Oh. And I love this added benefit. They just made it a big to-do. The operator of our Chick-fil-A came with the marketing director, and the cow came to my son's school, and they had balloons. And Jacob and several of his friends that also work at Chick-fil-A, they just really celebrated and handed out, the scholarships that the boys received. And it just gave me another reason to love Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They do have scholarships available for their teenage workers. And it was such a joy to be able to know that this is now another avenue at how they're speaking into their employees' lives and caring about the community, things like that. I love Chick-fil-A. Thank you.
Great reason for a parent to love Chick-fil-A.
Yes. All right, Julie, what are you a fan of this week?
All right, I'm a fan of some solar pathway lights that I put in my backyard. I realized that when I designed my backyard, I didn't think about lighting, and it was kind of dark out there. So I just never liked putting in the kind with the wires because it seems like the wires always showed, and we didn't have an electrical outlet out there. So I just went with the solar, did a lot of research on them, and found ones that are bright enough. And I think they're really stylish. They kind of have a unique look. They don't look like a lot of the other ones I had seen. So I will put a link to those. I really am happy with them.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's great because you can see a lot of those kinds of things recommended, but you never actually know how they're working in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, these work really well.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right. I am a fan this week of a documentary called The Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix. Have either of you guys heard of it?
No.
Okay. Do you remember that song, We Are the World, in 1985? Okay.
Yes.
So it is all about the making of that song, and it is amazing. It's like an hour and a half, and it was so nostalgic. Like, I just felt like I was living in 1985 while I watched it. And you see all these artists that you're familiar with, and they have all this video footage of the making. And the way they made this was before the internet and everything else. And so 39 years ago, the biggest music stars in the world crammed into a recording studio in Los Angeles for an all-night session that they hope might alter music history. We Are the World was a 1985 charity single for African famine relief that included the voices of Michael Jackson, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Ray Charles, Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, and it goes on and on. Bruce Springsteen, Lionel Richie. And it's amazing, like from the way they got the idea to the way the song was written, which was by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie just a few days before they sent out cassette tapes in the mail to all these artists' agents, to how they were going to get all these people there. Basically, there was an American, I don't remember what awards ceremony was in Los Angeles, and they decided all these people are going to be here on this night, and that's the best time. So after that award ceremony, all these people came and recorded this song from that point until almost to the next morning, and it was all recorded in one time. It's just so nostalgic and fun. And that song, I think, is the greatest selling song of all time, so everyone's familiar with it. And I just highly recommend you watch it. It was just a really fun documentary. And you see, I forgot, like a lot of those artists, it really makes you remember. They interview some of the ones that are still alive today about their experience. And it's really cool.
Wow. How many episodes is that?
Just one, just like an hour and a half.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
so you can sit down and watch the whole thing in one evening.
Okay.
And then you'll want to play We Are the World several times after that, like I did.
I love that song. Yeah.
I think about Dionne Warwick. Was she in there?
Wow.
If I getting the right song?
It says she was in there.
Yeah, that's who I think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in there. Billy Joel, Tina Turner. I mean, it's amazing the people that were in there. And all of those people in one place. One of the funny lines was they kind of joked that if a bomb hit that building, John Denver would rise to the top of the charts again because all this musical talent was in one place.
Wow, that's so neat to hear. I had no idea that was out.
Yeah. So check it out. A fun look back in time. All right, you guys. Well, I enjoyed this topic. I may dress up a little bit today, or I may not. But it's always good to talk about.
We'll have a good attitude about it, at least.
I will. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Bye. We're so happy you joined us today. You can find the show notes for this episode at midlifematterspodcast.com. Also, please tell a friend about the show and help them hit the free subscribe button on their favorite podcast app. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast. That's where we post pictures and stories about all the things we talk about in each episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.